hiking a sky island at Chiricahua National Monument. Welcome to our latest adventure. Chiricahua is often referred to as the land of standing up rocks. In this video, we're exploring the stunning Chiricahua National Monument, situated in the southeastern corner of Arizona. Chiricahua National Monument is a true geological wonder that offers some of the most breathtaking views in the Southwest. It's a sky island. A sky island is an isolated mountain range that rises from the surrounding grassland, known for its towering rock formations, rising spires, and lush forest. This hidden gem is a must-see for anyone interested in natural wonders or off-the-beaten-path destinations. Whether you're a seasoned backroad explorer, a passionate nature lover, or a traveler seeking your next unforgettable vacation spot at a national park unit, this incredible monument is sure to captivate your imagination and inspire your next journey while in the Southwest. Now, for the all-important question, why visit Chiricahua National Monument? Because of its unique volcanic rock formations that have been shaped by incredible geologic activity. The formations created from volcanic ash flows are not only a testament to the forces of nature, but also an incredible sight to behold. The hoodoo rock formations are especially famous for their eerie and dramatic shapes that rise like pillars, creating an almost surreal landscape. As a nature lover or a traveler with an interest in geology, you'll be amazed by the breathtaking vistas and stunning rock outcroppings that make Chiricahua such a special place as you make every turn along the trails and scenic drive. From the Echo Canyon Trail to the Heart of the Rocks Loop Trail, you'll find an abundance of scenic views and fascinating rock formations to explore. Travel across America with me. Despite the gale force winds, we will be traveling the Bonita Canyon Drive, stopping at Massai Point, hiking numerous trails, and pulling over at scenic pullouts. We will also be strolling the Faraway Ranch at Erickson Cemetery. Be sure to hang on after our videography of this photogenic park to see the ranch and hear about some important warning tips to know when visiting this sort of remote national monument. Exploring this monument not only involves jaw-dropping hikes, geologic formations, sky-draping scenic vistas, and history. Armchair travelers and those planning to visit this park, sit back and take in the highlights of our latest visit to Chiricahua National Monument. This was our fourth visit to this mesmerizing monument. Most visitors will reach the park from I-10, traveling west from New Mexico or east from Tucson. Whichever way, be sure to pull off at the rest area at Texas Canyon, west of Wilcox. Now, Wilcox is your exit ramp to Chiricahua. I will take you on a visual tour of Texas Canyon at the end of this video. I promise this might be one of the most beautiful rest areas you will ever stop at. Let's head that way. The scenery, terrain, and views change as we travel 35 miles south of Wilcox to the park entrance. The basin and range landscape is typical of the Southwest. I'll give you a glimpse as we head that way. Here's our turnoff. There is a booth at the entrance, but it's currently unmanned and no fee is charged to visit the park. Knowing that we had stopped and paid the fee at the booth in the past, I inquired about paying to one of the rangers. He informed me that collecting a fee and staffing the booth is at the discretion of the park superintendent, and staffing and budget plays a major role in their decision. We have a national park pass, so we were covered regardless. The visitor center should be your first stop. Be sure to get your park passport book stamped. Talk to the staff if you have any questions or want to learn more about the Cody Mundi. The Cody what? Some people call them Mexican monkeys. The ranger told me they were sort of like a raccoon, but with this tail, this incredible tail. Will we see one on our visit? The 12,025-acre Chiricahua National Monument is a land of ash and pumice, balanced rocks, towering spires, and massive stone columns waiting for you to enjoy. 84% of the park is designated as wilderness, a stronger restriction on land use. Here, 4 ecosystems meet: the Rocky Mountain ecosystem, the Chihuahuan Desert ecosystem, the Sonoran Desert ecosystem, and the Sierra Madrean ecosystem all meet here at this Sky Island. For those interested in a more leisurely exploration, the Scenic Drive offers an easy way to take in the stunning views of the Chiricahua Mountains without breaking a sweat. Don't let the comprehensive hike scare you away from this truly phenomenal park. The 8-mile Bonita Canyon Scenic Drive climbs from the grasslands, passing through the oak, cypress, and pine forest-filled Bonita Canyon. Ponderosa pine and Douglas fir are prevalent. Then, rock pinnacles, like guardians of the forest, begin to loom over the road. Well, for those of you not fond of mountainside clinging roadways, you might be a little squeamish. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for those of you who are squeamish, there aren't any pullouts along this narrow stretch of roadway. Getting pictures is a bit tricky. I did my best. This is one of the state's sky islands. The 40-mile-long Chiricahua mountain range is an inactive volcanic range. The monument lies at the intersection of the Sonoran and Chihuahuan Deserts and the Rocky Mountains and Mexico's Sierra Madre Mountains. There are Arizona white oaks, alligator junipers, and mountain junipers. All are a part of 1,200 different kinds of plants that grow in Chiricahua. On the cooler northern slopes, look for ponderosa pine and the Douglas fir. Both are typical in the Rocky Mountain Range. Sunny southern slopes have Apache pine and border pine from Mexico's Sierra Madre Range. After gaining nearly 2,000 feet in elevation, the scenic drive terminates at Massai Point. Come along for the ride. The mountain scenery and spires are quite a sight through the windshield. This narrow, twisting, edge-of-the-cliff scenic roadway is perfect for anyone looking for a more relaxed experience while still soaking in the geological marvels of the area. Chiricahua National Monument offers an array of hiking trails suited for different levels of skill and interest. 17 miles of established trails lace the impressive rocky maze. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced hiker, there are plenty of trails to explore. At Massai Point, there is a teardrop-shaped parking lot with signage, overlooks a picture-perfect half-mile nature trail, and exhibit building. But you have to watch for uneven footing, steps, and remember the higher elevation. This is at 6,870 feet. Here is what we saw on our hiking around Massai Point. Get out with me to enjoy the cool, brisk, and often howling winds. The trail features grand vistas of the surrounding valleys and mountain ranges, a huge balanced rock, and trail signs highlighting the natural history of the monument. The paved portion from the parking area to the exhibit building is wheelchair accessible. This is a must-do hike that I consider an introduction to hiking at this park. Massai Point is intriguing and embellishes grand vistas. Be prepared for traveling and hiking. Some of the hikers we met along the trail were dressed more for snow skiing than hiking a nature trail. Some were donning ski masks. We have hiked most of the trails, and I'm not too pumped about the Sugarloaf Mountain Trail, though. It's only 1.8 miles round trip, but hikes to fire towers have always been some of the most grueling. When we went that day because of the wind, there wasn't a single car in the parking lot. Personally, I go to Chiricahua to see the spires up close. Let me take you on a hike on the Echo Canyon Loop Trail along Echo Canyon to the grottos and Echo Park, providing visitors with stunning panoramic views of the volcanic rock formations, as well as the surrounding Arizona wilderness. We have hiked the multifaceted 3.5-mile loop trail through Echo Canyon and Echo Park twice and parts of it once. As we travel along this memorable trail, let me tell you about the other trails at the park. The Bonita Creek Loop, which is near the entrance of the park and Faraway Ranch, is only a 0.2 hike, and pets are permitted on this little loop trail with a picnic area. Arizona white-tailed deer are frequently seen in the lower portion of Bonita Canyon. This is also a good trail for grassland birds. And then there's the Bonita Creek Trail, which is a half-mile trail that you can access from the Creek Trail or the Faraway Ranch. You can also hike the 0.4 hike between the visitor center to the campground. Pets are also permitted on this trail. Then there's the trail to the Echo Canyon Grottos. This is 1 mile in length, and it begins at the Echo Canyon Trailhead. If you don't have time to hike the full Echo Canyon Loop, consider this shorter option. It provides a great introduction to the wilderness area of the monument and the opportunity to walk among the rock formations. There are several more moderate hikes that will take you 1 to 4 hours and have elevation changes of 500 feet or less. And they also have gravel trail services. And this is the Natural Bridge Trail that I mentioned earlier that's 4.8 miles round trip. That is one of the reasons we haven't taken it yet, is because that would be rather time-consuming. It begins along Bonita Canyon Scenic Drive. It is one of the least used trails in the monument. It ends at an overlook for the small water-carved bridge located across the canyon. And then there's the Sugarloaf Mountain Trail that I mentioned. It's 1.8 miles round trip. You will find it at the end of the road at the Sugarloaf Mountain Trailhead, and it rises above the surrounding canyons to the summit of Sugarloaf Mountain at 7,310 feet. And it is one of the highest points in the monument. Lightning activity is monitored from the CCC constructed fire lookout during the summertime. The Echo Canyon Loop Trail is a total of 3.3 miles, and it includes the Echo Canyon, Hailstone, and Ed Riggs Trail, and we have done this one several times. Most people do prefer to hike this loop trail counterclockwise because walking up the Ed Riggs Trail is less strenuous than the Echo Canyon Trail. But you can take and make any kind of loop you want with the maze of hikes that are all connected back there. You can also hike all the way from Echo Canyon to the Visitor Center. This is a 4.2 mile hike. There are some strenuous hikes that take 3 to 8 hours, with elevation gains of 500 to 1,000 feet. And those include the 5.4 mile Inspiration Point that goes to Mushroom Rock and Big Balanced Rock Trails. There's the Heart of Rocks Trail, which is 7.5 miles long. And as I mentioned, other multiple choices that you can make involving the Echo Canyon Trail, the Heart of Rocks Loop, and Massai Point. And then there's the Big Loop that's 9.5 miles that takes in all of them, basically. Hike smart and know your limits. Watch the weather and dress appropriately. Layers are best and bring plenty of water to drink. And eat salty snacks. And always have a map and know where you're going. The trails are fairly well marked, but you need your map so you know what you need to do to get back because, as I mentioned, you can make all kinds of loops and you could keep turning and just going in circles and never get back to your car. Be prepared for an all-day adventure. Stay hydrated and keep track of the time. The jumbled mess of giant rocks served the Apaches well over their long-term scuffle with the U.S. Army over a century ago. Between 1934 and 1940, the Civilian Conservation Corps, the CCC, I mentioned them when I was talking about the fire lookout tower, they labored on the scenic roadway, hiking trails, and most of the park structures. Fortunate visitors might catch a glimpse of one of the vibrant Mexican birds that often test the northern limits of their homelands. I am always on the watch out. We heard lots of birds, but only saw a couple Mexican jays. It was so windy it was quite shocking to even hear or see any birds at all. Along the trail, swifts, collards, and other colorful lizards dart across or even sunbathe on the rocks and yellow-tinged formations. The black-tailed rattlesnake is included in the reptiles that live there. We participated in the once per morning free shuttle, which takes first come, first served hikers to either Massai Point or Echo Canyon for a one-way, mostly downhill, 4.2-mile hike to the visitor center via the lower Rhyolite Trail. In addition to its natural beauty, Chiricahua National Monument is also steeped in history. As I mentioned, the Apaches, well, the monument holds significant cultural importance for the Apache people, and its rugged terrain played a key role during the Apache Wars in the late 1800s. One of the most notable historical figures tied to this area is Geronimo, the famous Apache leader. This historical significance of the site adds a layer of depth to your visit, making it not just a scenic spot, but also a place to reflect on the region's past. I have had the honor of standing at Geronimo's grave at Fort Sill, near Lawton, Oklahoma. Well, there's another video I need to make. So much information and so little time. I need another espresso and some sleep. I've got an espresso going right now, and if you enjoy these videos about my travels, please subscribe and tell a couple of friends about my Unclassic Road Trip channel. Thanks. There's more history and tips in Texas Canyon, so hold on. The car in front of us was braking really hard, and we're like, what are they looking at? And we saw a huge flock of wild turkeys. The Sonoran Desert surpasses all other North American deserts in lushness and variety of life, including 50 types of cacti, including the Perry agave, a real charmer, and the common prickly pear. The javelina love prickly pear. I like the manzanita a lot. Yuccas and sotol from the Chihuahuan Desert coexist with agaves and prickly pear cactus from the Sonoran Desert. Lichens, some of them neon green, adorn the pinnacles. Ferns thrive in the shade. As we're winding down our visit, let's take a stroll around the historic Faraway Ranch and stop at the Erickson Cemetery to see what all we can find. Open for tours, the Faraway Ranch was the homestead of a Swedish immigrant who was enlisted in the U.S. Army and who remained there after the military departed. Neil Erickson's daughter, Lillian, and her husband, Ed Riggs, who one of the trails is named after, turned the homestead into a working cattle and guest ranch. The two of them effectively worked to preserve this giant panorama we know today as Chiricahua National Monument. The graves of many members of the Erickson family are found in a small cemetery at the park's entrance. Learn more about this family at the ranch and on a guided tour. As I promised, I wanted to include a few tips for your visit to Chiricahua National Monument. First of all, after making the effort to get there from I-10, plan at least a half a day. Truly, 2 days would be best to get the most out of the park. Or visit a couple times like we have. But we keep doing some of the same things over and over again. They're just too good to be true. We did need a warning about the winds. This was rather evident from the drive into the park. Weather at the park ranger desk warned us, and our phone emergency alert even sounded twice. Windstorm warnings are a part of life in this region. Limits on trailer length are clearly posted, and a parking area for dropping off trailers is provided near Faraway Ranch. You might also have limited cell phone service depending on your carrier. We didn't. Our service was fine. Limited access to food and fuel are also part of the limits when making a visit to this park. Don't let this prevent you from going. Just go prepared. It's a national monument. It's worth the effort. We took plenty of water, although we didn't drink all of it because it was cool and windy. If you are wondering what else we had besides granola bars, which reminds me, if you want to send us a few bucks for a granola bar or some fuel for our journey, our Cash App is on the screen and in the description below. We also had a few hard-boiled eggs with garlic aioli sauce, a fresh avocado, raw baby carrots, and made-from-scratch brownies from one of my subscribers. It couldn't be all healthy, could it? If you're planning a trip to Arizona or seeking a unique destination for a road trip, Chiricahua National Monument is a must-see. It's a bit out of the way, but totally worth it with a mix of history, a grand drive, mountaintop hiking, Sky Island nature trails, and exhausting trails through the grottos of massive spires, hoodoos, and pinnacles. Its proximity to other famous landmarks in the region, such as Fort Bowie, Cochise Stronghold, and Bisbee, make it a perfect stop for those on a multi-destination journey. It's an ideal location for backroad explorers looking for an off-the-beaten-path adventure. So pack your bags, grab your camera, charge your phone, and get ready to discover one of the most scenic, geologically significant, and historically rich locations in the U.S. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more travel adventures, and comment below to share your own experiences or thoughts on visiting Chiricahua National Monument. I didn't forget, and I hope you didn't. Here's a view of Texas Canyon. Pull over. It's a rest area. Enjoy the view. It's a rest area like no other, right? ugly shoes, on the ground, and classic road trip. I had one subscriber ask, what happened to the flip-flops? Well, they just haven't been the best choice lately, but I'll get back in flip-flops soon. I hope. Let me know if I packed this video with enough information for you to plan your visit, from hiking tips to the best scenic views. In my opinion, whether you're looking for a peaceful getaway or an adventurous trip filled with exploration, Chiricahua National Monument provides the perfect backdrop. Keep watching as I take you more great places, and remember to go back to my playlist to watch videos of other places that you haven't watched yet.